My name is Joan of Navarre, and my story begins in 1399, when I became the Queen of England. Born in 1370 as the daughter of King Charles II of Navarre, I grew up surrounded by the grandeur and intrigue of royal courts. My first marriage was to John IV, Duke of Brittany, with whom I had 9 children, including John V, Marie, Marguerite, Arthur III, and Richard of Etampes. Together, we ruled Brittany and nurtured a family filled with promise and ambition. When my beloved John IV passed away in 1399, I found myself navigating a world of both grief and opportunity. It was then that I caught the attention of Henry Bolingbroke, Duke of Lancaster, who soon became King Henry IV of England. Our union was one of love and mutual respect, a rarity among royal marriages of our time. I left Brittany and crossed the English Channel to join Henry, becoming stepmother to his children, including the future Henry V. Though it was not easy leaving my homeland and my children, I trusted they would thrive under the care of my eldest son, John V. As Queen of England, I found myself in a land teeming with political tensions and rivalries. Henry's rise to power was controversial, as he had deposed his cousin, King Richard II. My role was to bring stability and support to the court while fostering alliances between England, Brittany, and Navarre. I dedicated myself to the welfare of the realm, ensuring that the royal household was well managed and maintaining my influence as a peacemaker. Life at the English court was not without its challenges. I was often viewed with suspicion as a foreign queen, and whispers of treachery surrounded me. The political climate grew colder after Henry's death in 1413. My stepson, Henry V, became king, and though I had hoped for a smooth transition, the years that followed were marked by hardship. Accusations of witchcraft were levied against me, a cruel and unfounded attack likely driven by my political enemies. I was imprisoned for several years, stripped of my lands and titles, and left to rely on the kindness of my allies. Despite these trials, I remained resilient. I knew my children in Brittany were growing into strong and capable leaders. My son John V solidified his position as Duke of Brittany, while my other children, like Arthur III and Richard of Etampes, played important roles in the politics of France. My daughters Marie and Marguerite brought honor to our family through their marriages into noble houses, weaving alliances that would shape the future of our line. In 1419, my name was finally cleared, and I was allowed to return to a quieter life. Though I never regained the full splendor of my earlier years, I cherished the time I had left to reflect on my journey. I saw my legacy continue through my children and their descendants, knowing that the bonds I forged between England, Brittany, and Navarre would endure. As I look back, I see a life of triumphs and trials, of love and loss. From the court of Navarre to the Duchy of Brittany and the throne of England, I carried the weight of my titles with grace and determination. My story is one of resilience, and my legacy lives on in the history of the lands I called home.